So what about airplane food?
Hey, what about those airline peanuts? What's the deal?
Yeah,
Does he actually answer the question in that bit?
I don't know. I've literally never heard the punchline to that joke. I only know what's the deal with airline food from
And that's all I
literally
know.
from hearing it like a million times, and that's pretty much it.
Like, I know they use that as a punchline, as a
Mm.
bit in Seinfeld, but I've never seen the actual bit of that.
I don't know if there is one.
Is this a bit that just doesn't exist?
Maybe.
It's the bit everybody's heard of, but nobody's seen or heard
What a strange world we live in.
quite. Anyway, hi.
Hello, welcome.
This is Talk the Plink.
Yes, talk the plank. Some
You have
insert joke. What? Where's the plank? Lot of talk, never a plank.
oh Bazinga.
Woohoo! Insert catchphrase.
Anyway, this is where we talk about stuff and things that we've done and
And
etc.
man, what was the deal for a while in with those sitcoms of having just weird catchphrases?
I don't know. I guess it was to make them more marketable. Like, everybody knows Bazinga from The Big Bang Theory, but I'm sure if you asked anybody what the plot of like any episode on that show was, they wouldn't be able to tell you. But they know Bazinga,
They know Bazinga.
Well, that's all they need to know.
Zimbabwe.
I do remember that I used to watch clips of that show, and I don't think I ever found it exactly funny. It was just like mindless entertainment that I quickly got annoyed with because it was like, "Hey guys, we're so nerdy."
It
Yeah.
is definitely a show that saw many boardrooms of of entertainment corporations, I'm sure.
Oh man, it feels like the most soulless corporate thing of, "Hey, how do we appeal to the nerds?" I don't know, my kid plays Halo. All right, when they get robbed, we'll have him say, "Oh, they stole Halo 1, they stole Halo 2, they stole Halo 3, they stole Halo 4. Whatever what are the other Halo games?" And they Google Halo games.
Oh, that Halo 2
Halo Halo
coming this year,
Halo
2021.
Halo Wars? What it was that that's too confusing. I don't know what that is. That
I don't know
scares
what
me.
that is. That's spooky. Now that Halo Combat Evolved, now that's what it's all about,
Oh
baby.
yeah, what Combat Evolved? I don't know what that is. That's scary. Just call it Halo.
It's called Halo. I don't even know if they talk about Halo. That's too mainstream. It's not nerdy enough.
No,
They
that's
have
the
to
thing
talk
though, is
about
that it's
Star Trek.
just mainstream enough that they will talk about it.
Yes.
It's
It's
You
not
know,
actual nerd jokes, it's mainstream jokes
that's
about
true.
nerds that people will get.
Yep. Like if
Like
you
they're
want to
talking about the next generation. They won't mention any details, just that the next generation exists.
if you want to see jokes made by people who are actual Next Generation fans, go watch a random Red Letter Media video with Mike Stoklasa, and he'll just randomly reference the Next Generation like almost every video. They did a whole like Star Trek game show quiz skit, and it was freaking
Dang,
hilarious.
that's fantastic. Yeah, I think they just say Picard on the Big Bang Theory, like just literally just say his name, and then there'd be a laugh track.
Oh jeez, I remember. Oh my gosh, it was like which the in the freaking Sheldon goes up, or what's the regular guy goes up to Sheldon, and it's like, "Oh, this is how they met," and then Sheldon's giving him a stupid quiz to be a roommate because he's weird, he's a
Hey, he's
nerd,
quirky,
and he
guys.
says Kirk or Picard. And then to seem like they know what they're talking about, they have the guy say original series over Next Generation, but Picard over Kirk. And as someone who has now seen a bit of original series and knows a bunch of Next Generation via osmosis, it should probably be the reverse.
Yeah, from everything I've heard, the Next Generation's the superior product.
Yeah, but there are
But
people
that
who
first
freaking love Kirk.
generation cheese, though. That
Yeah.
original
Oh
series
yeah.
cheese,
Oh, I
though.
love it. I love it. It's
That's true. You don't
so.
get to watch Kirk fist fight an alien lizard, so I don't think the quality can be compared in this case.
It can't. You don't get to you don't get to see the episode where Kirk gets split by the transporter
Oh
into
my
good
God.
Kirk and evil Kirk. And then evil Kirk is just William Shatnering all over the place.
God, just William at his Shatnerist.
Like I thought, like when people talked about the original series and they talked about the acting and they talked about William Shatner's acting, I went into the series thinking, oh, this is gonna be just the cheesiest thing all the time. And then I watched a few episodes and it's like, oh, he's like this is cheesy, but this is like just pretty normal for the time. And then I got to that episode, and it's
like,
just
oh no.
And they pulled out all the stops, went full steam ahead.
just oh my gosh, it was a trip, and
Sure.
I fell in love with the series, and it was actually probably the last episode I watched. Nothing against it. There's no reason. There's no reason why I stopped. I just stopped.
Yeah, it's just long episodes.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, and in
Kind
terms
of long
of
and slow paced.
in terms of like the traditional sci-fi series, Doctor Who is the one I put the most time into.
Yeah, same. I have not watched any Star Trek, but I have watched through all
There's
of
the episode where they find the Greek god Apollo.
Is that the one where they go to
wait, is that Doctor Who or Star Trek?
Star Trek.
Okay.
Oh, really? Oh, really? That happens, huh? Interesting.
Oh, boy. Ooh, that's
there's the one time where dang it, who's the doctor?
David Tennant?
Bones.
No, Bones.
Oh no!
One
you're
episode
thinking
where Bones sees the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. I don't remember what else happened in there, but
I saw this like scene from there, and they're like trying to. There's like they've run into these rock aliens, and one of them is injured, and Kirk's telling him, "You have to heal him, Bones." And Bones is like, "Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a geologist." And then Kirk's like,
that's kind of a running thing. It's like, damn it,
and then
Jim,
and then
doctor,
and then Kirk goes, "You're a healer, Bones. Heal." And then he does it.
Yep,
yeah.
I can't do it, Kirk, and then he does it anyway.
Yep. Oh, I love it.
Jim, doctor. The what was it? The Tribbles.
Oh yeah, the trouble.
I've heard about the Tribbles.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Where they just keep multiplying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez, those things.
These random little clumps of fur that they're pretending are alive.
They have a reference to that in Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And you can go dark side with it. There's a light side and dark side decision with it.
Oh, that's great.
Do you just slaughter them all?
Yes, you
execute order 66
you can poison them.
That's beautiful.
Let's see, I swear there was an episode with space Nazis.
Oh,
there probably was.
Almost certainly.
There has to be.
Yeah, without
question.
question.
I know there has to be, but I can't find it.
Do they get Mecha Hitler in there?
I don't think Mecha Hitler. I think it's Clone Hitler.
No, I think Mecha Hitler is like Doctor Who somewhere.
Probably. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, how many plots are there in Doctor Who where someone tries to kill Hitler?
Yeah.
Quite a number. I remember what River Song does that one time.
Yeah.
and then she does not succeed.
No. Oh, I know in season 12, the master comes back and becomes part of the Nazis
Oh, really?
and
Wait,
leads the Nazis.
Season 12, is that with the chick or
Yes,
with
that's with Jodie
other guy?
Whittaker.
Okay, okay.
It's her second season. But the doctor, or not the doctor, the master is played by I think he's like Middle Eastern descent.
Okay.
So it's like, wait, how is he in charge of a bunch of Nazis? Oh, he's got a perception filter on his face, so they don't know who he don't. They think he's a white Aryan.
Oh, I see.
And then later on in the episode, the Jodie Whittaker doctor, like, she beats him, she wins. And then she goes up to him with her sonic screwdriver, and she jacks up his perception filter and says, "Now they'll see you. Now they'll see what you really are." And then walks away.
Yeah,
Okay.
She's
just
already
leaving him to
won.
the Nazis.
She's already won. The Nazis already think that he's a traitor, and then she does that.
Some casual genocide on the side. Just some
It's
casual.
fine. Just enable the genocide. It's fine. He was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's not like one of those moments that Doctor Who occasionally has where the doctor does something and the show goes, "I don't know if this was the right thing." That never happens with Jodie Whittaker. She is always in the right.
Oh, I can't imagine it does. I have heard nothing but bad things about her run.
Yeah.
Dear.
Well, it's not her. It's they got a new showrunner.
Yeah.
Stephen Moffat is gone, and now it's Chris Chibnall.
I'm shocked that they managed to make it worse than it was already getting. That is very surprising to me.
It's somehow worse. It's somehow worse than the beginning of season 7. It's somehow worse than The Angels Take Manhattan.
Oh God. Now that is saying something. That is saying quite a lot.
I don't know how they managed it, but they did. And apparently in season 12 there is one good episode.
Oh no.
I'll watch at one point. I'll watch just that one and be like, yeah, that was the whole series.
Yep.
Good stuff.
The Haunting of Villa Diodati. That's the one. It's the one where it's they hang out with Mary Shelley and her friends.
Ah, that does sound like a great.
And
concept.
then later in the episode there's it's like it's supposedly haunted, and then later in the episode an unfinished Cyberman shows up.
Ooh. Like Frankenstein. That's good.
Kind of, yeah. It's great. And like he's like he volunteered to be a Cyberman, but it wasn't finished, so you can still see him, and he's still got some human emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. And then they ruin him in the next episode. But hey,
right.
that's Chibnall for you. But apparently the lady who wrote that episode is now one of the lead writers of the next season, so maybe it'll get better.
Hey,
hopefully.
that's good. There's hope.
There is. So that was a tangent.
Yeah, that was quite a bit of a tangent. Wow. I don't even know how we got on that, but you know what? I don't mind. I like talking about how bad Doctor Who has become.
Yes.
And Star Trek and stuff.
Maybe I'll have something to talk about that later on, and when we get to my week.
Hey.
But it's not my week right now. It is Mr. Aaron's week. How has been?
Yes. It has been very good. I've done lots of good things. I'm feeling pretty good. My job's been going really well, so I'm psyched about that. In terms of things I've played, I have only played 2 games, or actually, I technically played 3. I don't remember. Did I mention I was playing Enter the Gungeon last time?
Yes.
I can't remember. Okay,
little,
yeah. I played a little bit more of Enter the Gungeon after our sesh, but not too much longer. I don't know. It just wasn't grabbing me quite like it did the first time when I actually beat it. So I was just like, yeah. You know, the gameplay is kind of fun, but it's no Binding of Isaac, so I just kind of gave up on it. So I played a little bit more of Enter the Gungeon, dropped it, and then I picked up a titan, a veritable titan of the gaming industry. I decided to play Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah!
I downloaded it. And I was like, you know what? I hear only good things about this. They have the definitive edition on PlayStation 5. I have no excuse not to pick it up. It's only like $30, so I picked it up, and that game is fantastic.
Yes,
Oh
it
my
is.
God, that game is really, really good. Um, I think probably my favorite sections were with Dante, like
Hmm.
having like he has like a billion different weapons he can use. My favorite in style, though not in combat, being the motorcycle swords that he gets, which are very
Yeah.
cool. Um, but my favorite was probably the weapon he uses, the Balrog, because I just love just beating the crap out of the enemies
Hmm. Hmm.
and like hearing the number tick up as you hit 1, 2, 3, 4. That's so fantastic. I love that. I think I think my least favorite sections were probably with Nero, just because I found it pretty hard to chain together combos with him. Like it felt like with Dante and with V, I could chain together combos pretty easily, but with Nero, I don't know. I felt like I didn't have a whole lot of mobility with him.
Did
His
you
sections were still fun though.
did you go back? I'm gonna try to dance around spoiler stuff, but did you go back
Right.
with Nero's stuff?
Like replay through it now that
The thing, yeah.
some yeah. I have not yet.
Okay, because
I
that was his big thing in Devil May Cry 4. Like
Oh,
that
was
was
it?
his gimmick,
Huh.
and they
Interesting.
changed it up for 5 with the
Hmm.
different arms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I did love the different arms. I did love like the arm gameplay. The one I loved the most was the one that lets you like jump around all over the place. I would just constantly use that as like a
Oh yeah,
dash to get
yeah,
away
it's
from
good.
enemies.
Okay, did you surf on Punchline though?
Yes, I did. That was
Yeah,
great. I freaking love that.
it's great.
Oh my God, it's so cool. But
Did you know that you know the exceed system, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can did you know that you can exceed his air taunt?
No, I didn't. That's awesome.
You can exceed his air taunt, and not only that, you can max act it.
That's amazing. What the heck? I'll have to go back and play some more. I know these games are basically designed around replayability.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah. You haven't
yeah, so I
by the end of the game you probably haven't unlocked all the moves yet.
yeah, no, not even close. I have barely scratched the surface. Um, I loved all of these gameplay sections just because like I they play really well into button mashing. Like I found I could just
Mhm.
keep spamming square and triangle and get my combo meter like up to max, which is
Yep.
fantastic. That I love. Even though I did try to slip in a few combos here and there, but for
You
the most part,
it's the best gameplay for a stand user.
yeah, exactly. That is a perfect description. And I love that you have to finish the enemies off manually. That's really cool, especially because like each enemy has their own animation. Like you sometimes for the bigger enemies get like this long drawn out animation where he uh he goes on like a miniature tangent. It's great. I
Yeah,
love it.
it's great.
Yeah.
And then that makes the when you have a bunch of enemies, that makes uh the round the kind of the I forget what it's called, the one where you spin the control stick and do the kill button, and it
Yeah,
just
yeah,
shoots it all around him. It makes that really good.
yeah, 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 yeah. Um the story I think is really good too. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I don't understand like a little bit of the background lore stuff. I did watch the lore video they included,
Okay.
but there's so much lore dump there. I was like, I can't follow half of this. So I kind of understood a little bit of the background, but not too much. But that's fine because the game is just literally balls to the wall crazy,
Hmm.
and there's some new wacky thing happening every 5 minutes. So I was never um, too put off by that. Um,
3 and
yeah.
4 are definitely worth going back to. 4 has some issues with pacing,
Hmm.
especially. Because you go through half the game with Nero, and then you go literally back through the whole game with Dante,
Ah.
and you fight the same bosses all in order except for the best boss in the game. You only fight him with Nero.
Aha.
Sucks. Uh, 3 is fantastic, and it Its ending is actually better than Devil May Cry 5, but it's not fair because the ending of Devil May Cry 3 is one of the best things ever.
Wow, high praise.
And Devil May Cry 1
That's
is
the game.
good, but it is very old.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very janky.
It was
So,
very old and janky. And
yes, I would highly recommend the best friends playthroughs of the series, though.
I will definitely watch those because, like I said, I understood like maybe a quarter of the lore video. So I think brushing up by actually watching them play through the games would probably be fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's more excuse to watch the best friends play
Yeah.
stuff. So
And then you can watch their playthrough of DMC Devil May Cry,
hey,
which was the last finished LP they did.
Oh man, that's a bad sign. That's major cursed energy right there.
And then when you're done with that, you can watch Matt and Wooly play through Devil May Cry 5 on Wooly's channel.
Oh,
So
they play together.
They finished off the series.
All right, that's nice. So yeah, Devil May Cry 5, very good game. I also want to play the Bloody Palace. I know that's like a horde mode or like
yeah, it's a
like an
gauntlet. It is.
Yeah.
You go through all the floors. You have to get to the bottom in one go.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, sure.
You should also try out Virgil. I've heard Virgil is amazing.
Oh yeah, I need to do that. I totally, wow, I can't believe I totally forgot to do that. Is it like its own separate campaign?
I think you go through the game as just Virgil.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, wow. Okay, so that was Devil May Cry 5. Very good game. Very glad I decided to pick it up. After that, I decided to re-download BioShock and play through that. So I started replaying through that like 2-3 days ago after I finished DMC5. And yeah, that game definitely still holds up. There's a little bit of jankiness, especially with aiming. I didn't even know there was an aiming mechanic until I accidentally clicked the right thumbstick and aimed down my sights.
Oops.
But yeah, no, still graphically looks great. The gameplay is fantastic. Plasmids are awesome. Yeah, it's just a good game all in all. I'm really appreciating the voice logs more this time around. I don't think I listened to like half of them the last time I played, but I'm listening through them now, and it's like all this great lore in the background, so that's nice. Yeah, very good game, BioShock.
I should get around
I've
to trying
tried playing BioShock a few times, and I always get scared and stop.
it.
It's too scary for me.
It is a bit of a spooky game.
I didn't realize it was a spoopy one.
It's not really a spoop game. It just has spoop moments.
Yeah, but still though, like
there's a lot of flickering lights going on and off, and things creeping around corners.
I did manage to get through Resident Evil 2, but I only managed it the one time.
I remember one time I stopped because I picked up an item and then all the lights went out and I heard laughing behind me. So I just turned around with a shotgun and opened fire, and sure enough, there was something behind me.
Yep.
For a split second. But then I stopped playing because I did not like that.
Man, I would pay good money to see you play Spooky's House of Jump Scares.
Oh my god, man, that game will get you. I love that game though. That's a fun game.
I watched the best friends play through it during the shitstorm, and it was one of the most entertaining of those videos.
I've seen bits and pieces of Spooky's House of Jump Scares, and I know I don't want to play it. No,
yeah,
thank you.
Understandable.
Come on, Mitchell, you did that when we did the VR, when we were messing around with VR at Aaron's house. You did the deep ocean thing that I was too scared to do.
Did I though? I remember immediately curling up in a ball on the floor.
Yeah, you did, but you actually went in and did it.
He's like, "I'll be a brave boy. I changed my mind. I hate this so much."
Did you play that one hotel game?
Not willingly. You forced me into it. You just handed me the goggles and said, "Here, Mitchell, put this on."
Dude, I got spooked with the Batman Arkham VR.
That has some creepy moments.
I don't do good with scares.
Understandable.
But I'm fascinated by them, and that's a problem. Like it's
Not a
worse.
good mix.
It's worse with games, like
Yeah,
with
like
movies.
books, movies, I can handle. I love horror novels. Can't handle scary games at all.
I still don't like horror movies, but I'll watch some of them. Like I watched Alien. I watched The Shining.
Oh, yeah.
The Shining wasn't that scary. I'll watch that movie a million times.
Yeah, it's unfortunately gotten a little dated.
No,
Yeah.
no, I love it. It's not dated. It's just it wasn't
Well,
scary.
the effects are, which makes it not as scary.
Well, it's the scares aren't really from the effects. I wouldn't say, except for maybe that weird dog suit. The one that in that one shot that was weird.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I love that shot.
It's a great
It's
shot,
a weird shot.
but it's freaking weird.
Yeah. So anyway, BioShock's a good game. You
Yes.
should play it if you have.
Back to Bioshock.
So that was pretty much everything I played. I spent most of my time playing DMC5. So yeah, that was pretty much it. In terms of things I've watched, I've actually seen quite a few things. So first, in terms of anime, I've watched I watched Made in Abyss. That's right. I watched Made in Abyss last. Yeah,
I need to finish that. That series is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. The creativity in that show is absolutely astounding.
Dude,
Like, wow, the world is so fully realized.
I love the animation on the monsters.
Yeah, it's cool. I like how they do like the different animation styles specifically for the monsters. It's great.
It's just slightly off, and it's great.
Yeah, yeah. Like the lines are a little bit blurrier around the edges. I like that. I really like that. So how far did you get?
I got right down to what I have heard is the slog in the middle.
Okay. So
like they just got down to the level that has like the stuff hanging down from like trees and stuff.
Okay, yeah. Okay. There is a scene I'm not going to spoil anything, but there is a scene later on in the show that is one of the most brutal things I've ever seen in an anime. And it's like it came out of absolutely nowhere. I was not expecting it because like up until that point, like there had been a little bit of violence, a little bit of badness, but oh my god, there's a scene that just ratchets it up to 11, and I was not prepared for it.
Is it as jacked up as that scene in Hunter x Hunter with the archer kid?
The archer kid.
And
oh god,
yeah,
I don't know. Oh, maybe
because that one got me real bad.
Yeah, that one's bad. I don't know if it's quite as bad as that, but it's pretty brutal.
And that one I really wasn't expecting. Like I'd heard that Hunter x Hunter got dark. I didn't realize it went that far though.
Yeah. That one's absolutely brutal. Goodness.
But I've heard, like, with Made in Abyss, I've heard from a lot of people that this show's messed up. It's freaking messed up.
Yeah, no, it gets brutal towards the end.
And so I go in expecting, oh, at some point this is going to turn into the ending of Berserk.
That is a perfect way to describe it. But yeah, so the last thing I watched was Made in Abyss. Very good show.
I hope it doesn't go that dark. Holy crap! That's one of the darkest things I've ever seen, and that's what they ended the show on. The original show just ended on the most horrific thing ever happening, and then it just ends.
Well, maybe it's not quite that bad. Maybe it's not quite that bad. It's bad. So I watched Made in Abyss. Great show. Highly recommend finishing it. After that, this is right whenever I texted you, like, hey, give me some anime recommendations. And
then I gave you a wall of text.
A very good list, which I'm going to start. I still haven't, because I did have, there was one other show I was going to get started on, and then I got sidetracked and started watching another one as well.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, I'm definitely going to start watching Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah.
But the right after Made in Abyss, I started watching Samurai Champloo because I had never seen the entire show. I had only ever watched like up to the second episode and then stopped. So I decided to start watching it again. And I'm on like episode 10. And yeah, this is definitely from the creator of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
It feels very much in the style of Cowboy Bebop, of every episode being its own self-contained story, all of the characters having their own storylines that sort of intersect with one another and which are explored individually, which is really great. The animation's really superb. I love the style of like the mixing of the hip hop with samurai influences. Really great. Um, they get really creative with their anachronisms in the later episodes of the show, or in the episodes I'm on. There's like this one beatboxing samurai that shows up, which is really great in one episode. Um, who's basically like a rockabilly. It's fantastic. I love it. But yeah, that is a great show. I'm really loving it so far. Um, However, after I got to episode 10, I did get sidetracked with another one,
Oh boy.
which attracted my attention, which
Just
was
sidetrack the episode.
yes, I know. I cannot stay on topic to save my life. But I started watching. I don't know how to say this. Ijinurade Nagatoro-san. Don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro. Have you guys heard of this one?
Oh, my YouTube's been trying to flood me with those clips.
Oh, is that the one where the frickin' subtitles decided to translate her saying sus?
Yes, that's the very same
Yep.
one. Yes, and I did get to that section, and it was glorious. It was
You saw all the
absolutely
memes
glorious.
and needed to know.
Well, okay, so here's the crazy thing. I'd actually read the manga for it like a year ago.
Huh.
Yeah, I was pretty much all caught up to it because I love the concept. It's about this girl who basically bullies her like a student who's a year older than her. It's great. Um, but yeah, so I read the manga like a year ago and just dropped it, even though it's still going on. And then I saw they were making an anime, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'll go watch that. And I like the voice actors they chose for the characters. The main guy is played by the same voice actor who does Deku in My Hero Academia.
Huh.
He's like a perfect fit for the character who's like this mousy little shrimpy dude.
Yeah, kind
So
of
it's absolutely great.
a little Rickish from, or
Yeah.
no, not Rickish, a little Morty-ish.
He's a little Morty-ish. He has mad Morty energy. But yeah, it's also a very very ecchi show. I was not expecting, like I don't recall after having read the manga this much exploitation, I suppose I'll call it.
Oh, so is this done by the same studio as Interspecies Reviewers?
Probably. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you told me that was the case. But yeah, no, it gets a little gratuitous at times. I'll say that, but I still enjoy the nice slice of life moments as they happen. Yes, I very much enjoy that. And then, so that was everything I watched in terms of anime. But I did go out to go see some movies with the fam. I saw A Quiet Place Part 2.
1 second, because I remember one of the videos they tried to recommend about the show was like titled Nagatoro Noodle Arm Compilation or something.
That's like her signature stick. Her arm like turns into a wobbly noodle all the time.
Does it look like a weird joke in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? Is that kind of
exactly?
animation?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what the thumbnail looks like.
To the T.
Yeah.
Noodle arm compilation. I love that. But I went to go see A Quiet Place Part 2, which I would describe as a good movie if you don't think about it too hard.
Oh,
that is
one of
the perfect way I would think of to describe it. There are so many
that could be
logical
about the first
problems.
movie.
Yeah, that 100%. Why didn't the military know that they could use high pitched sounds? Why did the loud sounds in the military not cause the monsters to go all freak out and stuff?
Why didn't they just live near the waterfall?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Why didn't they just take or at least when she's like about to give birth? Why didn't they just go to the waterfall?
Exactly. That is exactly how I would sum up the second movie as well. Like there are so many of these moments where it's like, yeah, this this doesn't work if you think about it for like more than 5 seconds. But you know what? It's the action sequences are still fun, and the acting's really good. They actually get to act in this one, um, as in not in the first one where they're barely getting lines. They actually talk a lot in the second movie. Um, but yeah, no, it's it's a perfectly good brain dead movie. Um, so I saw that, which was decent, and then I saw oh god, what was it? Oh, we went to go see the new Conjuring movie, Conjuring the Devil Made Me Do It, and that was, I mean, it was okay. The jump scares were, I mean, they were cheap. They weren't even that loud. That's what got me about the movie. Like none of the jump scares got me just because they were also like quiet. Like most of the time, it's accompanied with like a really loud noise, but like they weren't really in the Conjuring movies. Like they just kind of played like a kind of loud sound. And it wasn't that bad actually.
Boo,
I'm
I
guessing
guess.
probably to give it more of a popular appeal would be
Maybe.
my guess.
I don't know. I remember I saw It Part 2, and that had a bunch of just loud noises anytime there was
Yeah.
a jump scare, and it's like, oh yeah, this is one of the reasons I don't like modern horror movies.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely appreciated it because it did have let the scares sort of speak for themselves, which is nice. Um,
Unfortunately, they just didn't have a lot to say.
yeah, yeah, um, yeah, no, but I mean that's like a classic popcorn flick. It's like that's in a running series, so it's basically just made for mass appeal now. Uh, it's it was a perfectly okay movie. Um, I still I think honestly the whole time I was thinking like, you know what? This is kind of exploitative. Like the people that they're talking about in these stories were actually real people and stuff, and now they're making
Oh.
like a demon movie about them. So like that's a little bit not cool. But I wonder what they think about this. Though maybe you know what? Maybe they signed off. I don't know. I didn't look it up. But
Who knows?
yeah. But yeah,
Or
no.
maybe they have like have like the whole thing with the what's the Facebook movie called? I forget.
Oh,
The Social Network. Like maybe they have a
yeah.
thing like that where they have it legally close enough to where they're not gonna get where they can't get into any trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, no, I'm sure they have something to cover themselves, and I guess it wasn't too bad. You know, I thought they treated the characters with some decent respect. I'm sure. Um, but yeah, no. So that was a half decent movie, good popcorn flick, um, and that covers everything I've watched. Uh, and then I can finally go on to what I've been reading. Uh, I have continued to read Mistborn. I
Yes.
am like 2 chapters away from finishing now. It's funny because I wasn't that far along, or I mean I was far along, but I wasn't as far along as I am now at the start of the day. I got to a section in the book um, where I'm trying to think of the best way I can describe this without giving spoilers. Where
Hubris?
yes, where hubris happens. Um, a certain character tries to free some other characters,
Yes, I know
and
exactly what you're
there's a
talking
big
about.
fight. Yes. I got to that section. Basically, that was like the chapter I started today on, and then I've just kind of been burning through chapters today. I'm like, oh my god, I have to see
Yeah,
what happens
yeah.
next.
You
I have to know.
welcome to the trademark Brandon Sanderson avalanche.
I don't need sleep. I need answers. Basically. Yeah, no, Mistborn is very, very, very good. I've loved everything about it so far. I've adored the um, plot line, like the I don't know what you'd call it, like 18th, 19th century marriage novel plot line
Mm-hmm.
that they've got
The
going
My Fair
on
Lady
with
plotline.
the My Fair Lady plot line. Yes, I've been loving that.
It's great.
Yeah, I love Ellen. I love the character of Ellen. He's
Mm-hmm.
great.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel so much like he's combined so many genres into this one book of like action movie with all the crazy action descriptions he has, which are always absolutely fantastic. My friend told me that apparently um, he writes them around as if they were cinematic, like as if they were in a movie, which I think is like a perfect way of describing
Mm-hmm.
them. They feel like action movie pieces. I love it. And then he's mixed in fantasy. He's mixed in the marriage novel.
A
It's been
heist
really great.
movie.
The heist movie. Oh my god, yeah. I love the blending of genres here going on. It's been really really enjoyable. I've been loving this book, the heck out of this book, and I can't wait to finish it, which I probably will right after I get off of this podcast.
Oh man,
Um,
it's fantastic. Only thing I don't like about his Avalanche style of writing is that it doesn't leave a lot of room for epilogues. But
yeah,
it's not really a problem in Mistborn because
hmm
first two books you're going into another book, and
yeah,
with Hero of Ages it ends in a good place.
yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure it ends really well. Uh, yeah. So that just about covers everything for me.
All
I
right.
don't have anything else.
Well then,
Now onwards to Sir Mitchell.
Mitchell,
All right. All right. Let me pull it up.
Get the list.
get the
Get
list.
the list.
The list.
Let's see. Let's see. So, of course, like I've been saying for the past several months, I've been playing more of the Old Republic,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
trying to unlock armor dies. Unfortunately, I severely underestimated how long I would have to grind for these armor dies.
Oh. Oh
Oh,
no.
And so I had to ask myself the question, do I want to commit to the MMO grind?
Oh.
And I said, no, not for the Old Republic, I don't. So then I went to the trade network to see like how much are people selling these armor dies for? Can I just buy them? And oh, that's not that bad at all. I'll just buy them. I don't need that many.
Oh,
So then I moved on.
you've fallen into the same trap that I fell into with Team Fortress 2 cosmetics.
Yeah.
It's like, do I want to start trading and getting into that whole situation so that I can get this really cool looking sniper set? No, not really. Do I want to start opening crates? No. I'll just buy it off someone on the marketplace.
Yeah. Fortunately, I don't need to spend real money on the marketplace. I could just grind credits.
Oh, there you go.
It's not costing me real money. So then I just moved on and finished up the Shadow of Revan DLC.
And
And I'm not liking
Aw.
how they portrayed Revan in this. They kind
Aw.
of gave him
Oh.
a multiple personality disorder.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Like,
And I don't
like
think
that
very
only
few people liked it.
that only works if you played Revan, or no, I don't know.
Yeah, because Revan got killed off in like the game, and so now he has two Force spirits haunting around a light side spirit and a dark side spirit. So he's got like
Revan. Okay, Revan is just whenever you play an RPG and you go good and bad just arbitrarily.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Then
tried to. Maybe that was their concept going in, but I don't think it worked out very well.
I finished the DLC. I don't think it worked out very well. The boss fight with Revan is kind of fun.
Oh, there you go. At least there's that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now,
do you have to do boss fights with other players, or are you doing it
no,
by
they're
yourself?
usually geared toward you and a companion. You can like group up with other people if you want, but like 90% of the Old Republic is geared towards solo people, and they usually tell you if you need to pair up with other people.
Hmm.
And there's a group finder, so you can just use that if you need to. But
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure like all of the actual multiplayer stuff now is completely optional.
Oh, you
So
never have to see another person in this MMO.
you don't have to work with another person in this MMO.
Never have to look at another. Never have to even see another person if you close your eyes hard enough.
Yep. So let's see. So I got past that, and now I'm getting into like the big expansion that they did, the really cinematic one.
Oh yeah, is that the one where like they had another one of their CGI trailers and it was like the two brothers or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you finally defeat the Emperor once and for all, I'm assuming.
Yes, defeat the Emperor once and for all. Gee, I wish that Star Wars would let them do that.
Never.
You wish
He must
Disney would
live
let
Somehow
them do
Palpatine
that
returned.
somehow.
That's the frickin' line. That's the line, word for word.
the
Somehow
line.
Palpatine returned. I have that in my list of potential Team Fortress 2 kill sounds.
Let's see. So I'm getting up to that cinematic bit. So again, I'm kind of been looking around for a gaming PC,
Mhm.
and I've been asking around at stores, and haven't heard back from any of them.
Oh.
I've left
Oof.
messages and emails, and none of them have bothered to respond. So I'm getting ready to just go on like iBuyPower and order one on there.
I think what you can do with like iBuyPower is you can like call them and say, "Hey, I have this budget. Can you help me out?"
Yeah, they have like a little questionnaire thing that kind of helps you get a
Oh, there you go. There's that too.
like a starting point, and then you can kind of customize it a little.
Yeah, that way you don't
So I'll
have to
try that.
interact with another human being.
Yes, since the human beings don't want to interact with me
Apparently.
because they haven't called back. That's the problem. So let's see. So I kind of want to get a gaming PC so that I can have all the settings on max.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know how much better it will look,
I
but
haven't had that feeling since I first got this PC.
yeah. Let's see. So then past that, I've been playing more of The Witcher 1.
You sent me a picture from The Witcher 1.
I did.
Of a face.
They kind of melted a little.
Was that a bug?
That was indeed a bug.
Okay, because I'm like, I don't recognize this. Have you gotten
I
that
think
much
it's
farther
Carmen.
than me?
It's Carmen. From chapter 3, Carmen.
Oh yeah, Carmen. I
The
did
prostitute.
I did her quest in chapter 2.
Yeah. I went to go talk to her, and she turned her head around. Her head snapped around 90 degrees, and I saw that monstrosity.
Oh man, what a game!
But again,
What a
basically
video game!
the facial texture kind of stretched, and it looked like her face was melting. It was terrifying.
It looked like it looked like what
It
Indiana.
looked like something was wearing a human skin mask.
Yes. It looked like if you did the Indiana Jones thing with the melting face, except you didn't have any layers and it was just one big kind of goop sliding down.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds beautiful.
It was. Let's see. I've been getting better at the alchemy thing. I've learned how to use the secondary components.
Oh yeah, you told me about the dragon bomb or dragon's breath or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, the bombs. Yeah. So that works super well. The Dragon's Dream bomb works really well. You drop it down, and it releases a cloud of highly flammable gas. So then you just backpedal a few feet, and then you shoot Igni, and then
Igni.
everything within a
Kaboom.
10-meter radius is dead.
You know, theoretically,
Yeah.
this is The Witcher 1, so it could bug out.
Theoretically. But so far, I sent you that encampment full of enemies, and they're all just dead.
Yes.
That's the bomb. That was the bomb.
Oh boy.
I just ran around, got every enemy on my butt, dropped the bomb, turned around, Igni, and then they all died. And it was great. Let's see. I've also been learning how to use the secondary components in alchemy for crafting potions.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about that, like the
Yeah, it was in one of the things that I skimmed. Honestly, alchemy has just been me making swallow potions.
yeah. So I kind of learned that like the red effect, if you match all the ingredients to red, it'll increase the amount that you heal over time.
Ah.
The black secondary one increases your damage by like 20%, and white decreases the amount of toxicity you gain with that potion.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was a mechanic.
Yeah, the toxicity.
Like I said, I've only been using alchemy for swallow potions, just give me that healing.
Yeah. So I've been using it for like swallow potions with all red ingredients so that I heal even more.
Even more heals.
Yeah, or like using cat with increased damage, since if I'm going to be blind, and I'm
Yeah,
going to use a cat. I'm
that's
probably
fair.
going to be fighting anyway, so I
That's
could
fair.
probably use extra damage.
Hmm.
So that's been fun.
Geez, so
I
you can
managed to
just
kill
add bonus effects to every single potion in the game. Golly,
pretty much. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
great.
you can. So then let's see. I took down the wyvern trophy hunt.
Oh, I haven't done that yet.
I did. I finished chapter 3. I'm on chapter 4 now.
Oh, I haven't. You're ahead of me. Dang it.
All right. All right. Let's see. Are we
But
careful then?
is chapter 4 so far really good? I've heard it's the best one in the game.
It's definitely getting interesting. I haven't gotten super far yet.
I know it has like some weird eldritch stuff.
Yeah, it's getting a little Cthulhu-y.
Yeah.
You remember the one short story from The Witcher with like the mermaid?
Is that the one that has the other bard?
Yeah, the other bard.
Yeah, and
Dandelion's female friend.
Geralt talks to the mermaid and has to translate
Yeah.
between her and the mayor of the town or whatever. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. And in that story, they encounter like some weird fish people, underground city fish people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we run into those in chapter 4. I think those are the same things.
Most likely.
Yeah. So it's getting a little Cthulhu-y, which is fun.
I'm always for fantasy going a little Cthulhu-y.
Just a little.
Just a little. Just a
Yeah,
little.
it's fun.
Just a little.
Let's see. Let's see.
It's a little sprinkle of Cthulhu.
It's a little thing of
Spice things
Cthulhu.
up.
I'm trying to figure out how much more I want to say. Let's see.
Did you like
Cthulhu.
chapter
That's true.
3?
Yeah, I kind of liked it. Just
More or
going
less,
around
more or less than
salamander.
chapter 2.
More.
Okay, good.
Chapter 3 was just kind of uneventful in the law. You were kind of just running around hunting salamander camps.
Oh, okay. How about that party?
That party.
That
Oh
party
yeah, the
was
big party.
that party was odd.
Yeah, with Ada.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was freaking
yeah,
odd.
that was weird.
Yeah. But you gotta collect those trading cards.
Yeah, I did. Here's the thing though, the medallion starts shaking though.
Yeah, I noticed, and I was like, eh.
I'm like, oh, I don't like that at all.
Well, no, there's a reasonable explanation for that.
Well, let's see.
Because she's the girl in the opening.
Yeah, she's the
In the very first Witcher story.
yeah, I remember.
I forget what
So
what
yeah,
they're called.
I know I have an idea why it's vibrating, but I still don't like that.
Yeah, it's still, yeah. But then you walk into, but you know, I love that you can walk into a room and then see the thing shaking, and then you go, wait a minute, hold on.
And then you go, don't trust one of these people.
Unfortunately, because it's The Witcher 1, the first time it happened, I thought it was a bug.
Yeah. But it turns out it's
The
not.
Witcher 1.
It is actually kind of cool.
It was really cool once I found out,
Actually cool
this was
when you find
intentional.
out that no, this is a hint. It's actually warning me.
This was intentional. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Hunting the wyvern that you need for the trophy hunt is super hard because she's surrounded by a bunch of royal wyverns.
Oh, fun. Can you just use Dragon Dream?
You could, yeah. Spec into the bomb. I didn't have the bomb unlocked then.
Oh.
So I had to just like swallow, blizzard, wolf, sharpen sword, apply rune, and then just try and attract as few wyverns at a time as possible.
Yeah. Isn't it fun when you have to just literally chip away at an encounter? Isn't that fun?
Yeah. It's fun. I'm getting to the point now where I'm getting good with oils. Because now I found an oil that just flat out increases sensitivity to silver.
Oh, there you go.
So now pretty much every month, I don't need to like have a separate oil for ghosts, a separate one for necrophages, a separate one for like wyverns. I just have silver, more silver damage.
Nice.
It is super nice. That and the bomb has made chapter 4 pretty darn easy.
Just every encounter. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Okay, drop the bomb, turn, Igni.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have been a little sparse with the Dragon's Dream Bomb because you need like top quality
oh
powder
yeah.
that you have to buy from stores.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
kind of a more like mini boss encounter weapon.
Yeah. Well, anything to get through the Witcher 1 faster.
Yeah. That's either, wow, that's a really large group of enemies, or, oh, hey, a mini boss.
Man, that would have been nice to have in that in the end of chapter 1.
In the end of chapter 1, yeah.
That fight was a pain.
That was a pain. Fortunately, I leveled up my art just enough that I just spammed art until I knocked it down and then I stabbed it.
Yeah, that could work.
But I think that's a legitimate strategy. It's just save right before you talk to Abigail in the cave, and then just keep restarting the fight till you knock it down.
Jeez, man,
Let's see.
sometimes this game is bullcrap.
It is a little bullcrap.
Okay, all the time this game is bullcrap.
Yes, but I love it.
Yes. What a terrible game, I love it.
Yes. Oh, with Abigail, did you side with Abigail or the villagers?
I think I sided with Abigail.
Yeah.
I think. I don't
You think?
I don't remember entirely. It's been a while since I did chapter 1 of The Witcher.
Well, I guess you'll find out in chapter 4.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because for me, she's back in chapter 4, so I know I saved her.
I don't think I let them kill her, at the very least.
But then you probably sided with her then.
Yeah.
If you didn't want them to kill her.
Yeah. I don't know, did I get her trading card? I'd have to check.
I think I skipped her trading card and just went straight out of the game. It's like, I can convince you I made a sin. It's like, no, I believe you. Let's just go.
I believe you. I'm fine. Really, I'm fine. No, seriously.
I didn't
seriously,
even
I'm
get
fine.
Triss's first card.
I didn't need convincing. I'm good.
Yeah, I didn't get even Triss's first card in Kaer Morgan.
Yeah, I didn't because I don't like Triss.
It's just like, no, Triss, we gotta start packing. Let's go. We don't have time for this.
Triss, please stop. This
Oh,
is
you can write a letter to Triss in chapter 4, and you can begin with dearest friend or like dear lover. I chose dear friend.
Dearest friend.
To my dear friend Triss, I hope this letter finds you well. Your loyal friend, and nothing more, Geralt.
Nothing more. Please.
And never will.
Leave me alone. I wonder. I don't know if she's optional in Witcher 2 or not.
I don't know. Let's see. But that's about it for The Witcher. I've been playing a little bit of Breath of the Wild, a little bit of Monster Hunter, just kind of grinding, getting shrines in Breath of the Wild, and Korok seeds. There's so many darn Korok seeds.
Are you going to get all of them?
You know I am.
Oh no.
You know I am.
Oh,
I got a giant interactive map on my laptop so that I can click and check off each Korok seed I find.
No.
I'm gonna do it.
It's oh.
And I've been trying to.
Gotta get your giant golden poo.
I'm gonna earn that poo. Let's see. For Monster Hunter, I've been gearing up for trying to get into G rank. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of players on Gen Ultimate anymore now that Rise exists.
Yep.
They've kind of jumped ship.
Maybe you should get Rise.
I don't want to get Rise though. I don't need another Monster Hunter game.
But you gotta get Rise so that you can play more and play with players.
Here's the thing though. I might just try and solo G rank.
Oh my gosh.
It's technically possible.
It's technically possible.
I've done the math. You can technically do it. People have done it before.
It's possible. Therefore, I will.
Yeah. Fortunately, the Discord for Gen Ultimate is still active, so I can kind of get on there and occasionally find a group of people to play with.
There you go.
So I'm working through it. Oh yes, and I binged the entirety of Invincible in like 2 days.
Yeah.
So we can just talk about that for the next, I don't know, hour.
Oh my gosh, dude, that show's friggin' awesome.
Oh man, that is
so good.
Well, that's a lot of blood.
Yeah, that
Yes.
first episode hook.
Oh.
The first episode hook. At first I thought, oh, so it's like those split 15-minute episodes, except no, wait, it's been going for almost 40 minutes. Wait.
Oh. Wait a minute, it's still going. Hold
Hold
on.
on.
They had the logo and the credits. Why is it still going?
Why is it still going?
Hold on a
Oh.
second. That's why. That's
Oh
why it
no.
was still going.
Because everything had to go wrong.
Yes. Just okay, which one was the worst? In that hook, which one was the worst?
Oh no, like not Flash, just desperately trying to punch Omni-Man as his fists break. That's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
gut
Grinding
wrenching.
his teeth to dust.
Yeah.
That was rough. You know what else was rough?
Fishman just getting his brain split.
Well, that too. You know what else was rough? Not Batman dropping down and doing the thing that Batman does, only to get grabbed out of the air and splatted.
Yeah.
And then probably the worst one was not Wonder Woman.
Oh, yes.
Just snap, cough blood, and then fall over.
Yeah, vomit blood all over. Oh man, that was rough.
So yeah, that's a really good show.
Wonderful show.
Oh man.
I especially like the part where Omni-Man takes his son on a nice trip on the train.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, the lovely little father-son excursion that episode was.
that's
some
the
father-son
whole episode.
bonding.
It's just the father-son excursion. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it the last time we talked about it. Robot is freaking amazing.
Oh my God.
Robot's interesting.
He's a very interesting character.
Robot is a very interesting character, as is Monster Girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like
I
this.
like.
Conceptually, this is one of the coolest things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm
like
a
how.
little weirded out.
Yeah.
A little creeped
Yeah.
out by Robot.
Understandable.
Not quite sure what all of his motivations are, but I'm looking forward.
He's too much of an anime fan.
Oh,
Getting
Yeah.
into those
no.
9,000-year-old dragon girls.
No.
He played
Officer, you
too
don't
much Fire
understand. She's
Emblem
actually
Awakening.
32.
No,
She just
trust
looks
God.
like a prepubescent child.
Officer, you don't understand. I'm actually 32.
As well. I also just happen to look like a prepubescent child. Therefore, it cancels out.
Ugh. Yeah, he's smart, but not in a way that feels unnatural or wrong.
Yeah.
His intelligence feels very natural.
Yeah. I'm kind
Like
of
he's
wondering
actually.
if, darn it, what's his face? Asshole dude becomes less of an asshole over time.
Oh yeah, good question.
I don't know. I have not read the
Rex,
comics.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say. I've been thinking
And I'm
about
kind
picking
of
up the
wondering
comic.
if Rex is going to have some interesting character development as the series goes on.
I'm sure he will.
I've heard the comics don't do the episode 1 hook as well
Mm-hmm.
because they don't give it as much time.
Oh, okay.
And that the whole like main plot of the first season is the first plot points of the comics.
Mm.
Like they don't even go to he doesn't even go to Mars until after all of that has been done.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or something like that. I don't know if it's exactly that, but that's how it worked. How they redid it in the show.
Yeah. Let's see. What about like all of the little scenes at the end of season 1 setting up for season 2?
Man, Mars is screwed.
Mars is
Yeah.
not looking good.
Nope.
Kind of bone, just a little bit.
I freaking love the guy, the earthquake guy.
The earthquake guy, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was so great, man. What a crazy unique character.
What a
I love
crazy
it.
it.
unique one-off villain.
Yeah.
But we see him in the setup for season 2. So
I know,
you
so
might
it
be
may
right.
not be a one-off, and it's
It may
great.
not even be a
Oh.
one-off, which is
Oh my
fantastic.
God, I hope he comes back.
Man, Cyborg dude, it's still kicking around though. That's unsettling.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Oh
God.
oh. Amber sucks.
Amber.
Amber?
The girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, she's not that much better in the comics. They
Yeah.
did, but they did screw her up a little bit more in the show.
Yeah, dear.
Oh well.
Yeah, I don't really find myself like disliking her as much as some people. I just don't particularly care much for her, I guess. I feel like she could have worked as a character. I just don't feel like maybe they didn't execute it good.
Yeah, it's like
Like I see what you were going for,
her
but it didn't quite work.
revealing what she knew is just like, yeah, that rubs me the wrong way.
Mhm.
Like I appreciate him going, like, if it wasn't that, if he had just gone up to her and been like, hey, I'm actually invincible, and she went like, so, and it wasn't that she knew, she just didn't care, that'd be great.
Yeah, I feel that could work. Like, yeah, so that doesn't matter.
It doesn't, like, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't want, that just confirms I don't want to be in this relationship. But then no, we got to keep going, and it's dumb.
It's like, yeah, no, but I already knew. It's like, well, then you already know.
You
Why?
already knew, and you
And
got mad at me literally yesterday.
even
no
though you
reason.
knew why. Yeah.
It doesn't
Good
even work in the scene because, and this is the change they made in the show, in the comic, she's just scared, and then he disappears, and then he's invincible, and then she gets mad at him. In the show, she takes charge and tells people, hey, go get help, and then he
gets help,
and then she gets mad, and then she gets mad at him
for going to get help.
Whoops. It feels similar to some of the changes they make to Shay and Tyrion's relationship in the show Game of Thrones compared to the books, except
no, I haven't read the book or seen the show.
Except it was done right in the books. So in here it wasn't even done right in the source material. But still, very good show. I can't wait for season 2. It's already been renewed for season 2 and 3.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
I've heard people say they could get probably 5 or 7 seasons out of it.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, I'd go for that.
I could go for that. If they're all at least almost as good as this, then yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the superhero shows I used to watch, except it's a lot more violent and gory.
A lot more violent.
Considerably more.
Considerably more violent.
Oh man, that first fight with the first Sona dude, what's his face?
Oh, the freaking lion guy.
The lion dude with the mace.
Oh
man,
that
was brutal.
And the fact that Omni-Man just watched the entire thing. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him again. He's like the guy I want to see show up again the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys like that, you should really watch The Boys. It's basically just a live action
version. I've been looking at it. I've been side-eyeing it. I'm gonna have to jump in at some point.
Yeah, it's very, very similar in scope and concept.
Yes. Oh, is that it?
Good show.
Let me think. Been reading more The Last Apprentice, and I've been trying to look it up about the whole county issue, capital C county.
Oh yeah?
And it is apparently based on the author's home county of Lancashire County. So why he doesn't just call it Lancashire County
or something
is beyond
those lines.
Or just have it county lowercase c.
Yeah. No. We gotta call it county.
The county. Even though there are other counties that they mention.
Yeah, but this is the real good one, the
Yeah.
only good one,
Yeah, I know, it's
the
weird.
county.
It was like for a while I was just like, I don't know, is it some weird fantasy world that where it is just called the county? But then they mentioned like Greece. I'm like, okay, that's
Okay,
weird.
so we're not opposed to calling things by their real world places, but you can't call it Lancashire.
Yeah. He changed several of the town names. Like instead of like Preston, it's Priesttown,
Yeah, that's fine.
which is fine. Yeah, like that would make sense. But again, kind of changing names instead of the town of Lancashire, it's the town of Castor, which can still work.
That's fine, but call it Castor County,
Yeah,
not just county.
not or again just the county lowercase c.
Yeah.
That works fine.
Like if you want to make it like as general as possible so that kids reading it can go, oh, it's like it takes place in my town, then yeah, just do lowercase county.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What really tipped me off though is when they went on a boat and it's like, and then we sailed up the River Mersey up to Liverpool, and I'm like, I have listened to enough shanties of songs to know about the actual thing. We are most definitely somewhere in Britain. So yeah, I don't understand why he does things like that.
I listened to Rocky Road to Dublin, and this is not it. This is British.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, I don't know, he's starting to get into an overarching plot, which is kind of fun. Kind of getting some more world building and whatnot.
So it's not just Goosebumps now.
It's not just Goosebumps now.
It's Goosebumps Plus.
Okay, is it doing like a big overarching plot, or is it like small overarching, like small like couple book plots?
One big one. I think we're probably going to focus on one big plot now for the rest of the books.
Okay, that's even more than Animorphs did.
Yep. Basically, the witches got really mad and summoned up the devil.
Oh, well.
So now the devil is the thing.
That's a problem.
Wow.
And so now they're trying to figure out, okay, how do we kill the devil?
Did they just get really mad one day? Just really upset?
Kind of.
We just got
They've
really
been really
upset.
mad. It's like they're all really mad at the spook, but they're also all mad at each other. But eventually they got more mad at the spook than each other.
Man,
and decided to curse him really good.
Man, they put the wrong T in front of me. You know what? I'm done with this. This is the last straw. Time to summon Satan.
Time to summon the devil. So yeah, I think we're going to be dealing with the devil from here on. I don't know what he could do beyond that.
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of going to be the big one.
Yeah, this is about as far as you can really go, unless you want to go in, unless you were like hinting at like Greek mythology, then maybe you could go with Nyx and just darkness.
Yeah.
But even then, that's like
but we've also kind of have touched on Greek mythology a tad, so I'm not quite sure on how this world works entirely.
It's Shin Megami Tensei
it is kind
rules.
of a hodgepodge.
It's Shin Megami Tensei rules. Everything is true.
I guess maybe. Why not?
They'll bring out the devil too.
That's one of my favorite parts about Shin Megami Tensei lore. It's like, oh yeah, they were all true.
Yeah.
So don't ask us how that manages to fit all together. It's just all true.
It's just all true. Satan and Loki are both there.
Yeah,
they both exist.
I mean, same with the Rick Riordan books. It's all true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably be working through my way through that series. Apparently, there's 13 books.
Huh. I expected a bit.
Wow.
It was a bit more than I was expecting, but we'll see.
Oh man, that once you're done with that, you gotta go with the other young adult classics. Gotta go with Ranger's Apprentice. Gotta go with Series of Unfortunate Events. Gotta go with actual Goosebumps.
Gotta go with Animorphs.
Animorphs. Oh boy, if you
I kind of want to read Animorphs now. What you've told me from like a couple podcasts ago.
yeah, if you go with actual Animorphs, let me know because oh boy, that was a trip back in the day.
The bit with the rat dude has got me super interested in reading Animorphs. Now I had no idea.
Yeah, that's probably the darkest it goes, but it comes close.
But yeah, that's probably about it for me.
All right.
All right.
Well, then let's swing on over to Sir Zachary.
All right, swing on over to me. List. Here it is. Okay, so past weekend I went on a little weekend vacation with my extended family. It was my grandma's, I think, 80th birthday. So we went out to.
I'm gonna send Aaron the photo of the glitch face.
Oh no!
Yes, please.
Yes, send it to him.
I want to see it.
It's horrific. But we went to a log cabin out in Oklahoma. It's like a big three floor cabin, so we could fit everyone in, and that was fun. Oh, there it is. Please tell me you've seen it, Aaron.
Oh, can we use that for the thumbnail?
Oh, yes, that's going to be used for the thumbnail.
Let me take a look. Oh, there it is. Oh my god. Looks like the freaking Scream. Looks like from Wes Craven's Scream. Oh my god. Oh, what? That is beautiful. I love.
It's wonderful.
That's gorgeous.
So don't worry, dear listener, you will be able to see the face that we've been speaking of so often.
Yes.
Because I'm putting that as the thumbnail. But anyway, we spent the weekend there, did some hiking, did some kayaking. It rained a lot, so we couldn't do a ton. But I did bring some board games, so we played some of those. I found an old copy of Trivial Pursuit Star Wars. And it's so old that it had like preview questions for episode 1.
Oh my god.
But I found it at Half Price Books, and I also bought a Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit at Half Price Books at the same time, and I'm really glad I did because the Star Wars one didn't have like any of the pieces outside of the board and the player pieces. So I poached the pieces from Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit so we could actually play. Unfortunately, the colors didn't match up entirely correctly, but what can you do? The colors printed on the cards didn't quite match up with the colors on the board either, so. Then I played board game Treasure Island, which is one of my favorite board games. Basically, one player is Long John Silver and hides, and you have this map of an island, and everyone gets their own like little mini version of the map for note taking and stuff. And Long John Silver looks at his map and puts a little dot somewhere on the map, and that's where the treasure is. And then all the other players have to, and throughout the game, John Silver will give hints. Sometimes those hints can be lies, maybe, and he gives hints to individual players. Players can request individual hints from him, or they can verify to see if one of the hints he gave to everyone is true or maybe true. And then by the end, everyone gets like it's one turn or one player's turn, then the next player's turn, the next player's turn. It has a little calendar of events. So like on this day, John Silver gives another hint. On this day, John Silver is allowed to make another one of his hints a maybe lie. It's not truth or lie. It's truth or maybe, which is great, and I love it. And then at the end of the calendar, John Silver escapes from the tower. After the first 4 turns, the players put John Silver in a tower somewhere on the map where they hope that he's farthest away from the treasure. And then on the last day of the calendar, John Silver escapes and he tries to go for the treasure. And if he gets the treasure to the treasure before the other players, he wins.
Oh, that sounds really interesting.
So I play John Silver since I know the game best out of everyone there, and I gunned for the treasure 1 turn, and then on the last player's turn, which was my little kid cousins, two of the sisters playing as a team, they found the treasure. So it was fun. It's a fun game. I love playing that game. And then after that, we played a bunch of games of the Resistance Avalon.
Aha.
So the Resistance is a game where you have like 5 to 10 people. Some of them are good guys, some of them are traitors, and the traitors try to everyone has to like vote for a team. Team goes out on a mission. Good guys can make the mission succeed only. Bad guys can make the mission succeed or fail. And it's basically first 3 wins or fails wins. The twist with Avalon is, number 1, it's Arthurian themed, and number 2, one of the good players is Merlin, and Merlin knows who the evil players are. But if at the end of the game the good guys win, the evil players have one more chance to guess who Merlin is, and if they get it correctly, they win.
Oh.
So I was Merlin the first game. I made sure I was Merlin just because I knew the game the best. Then the second game I was one of the traitors, and the third game I was Merlin again, and I had this horrible moment where I knew, like, okay, if I vote against this team, they're probably going to know I'm Merlin. If I vote for this team, then it's probably going to fail, and we're probably going to lose. Dang it, how do I go from here? It's great. It's great. What a fun game. So that was that. I've been doing a lot of work on my master's.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
It's going. It is going. I've gotten to the part in one of the classes where I actually get to write some of my own stuff. So that was So that was fun. Got some feedback from the professor, and I'm really happy with where one of the things ended up. I actually just like lifted a scene from a planned novel in my head, and I just used that, and it ended up working out really well.
Yeah.
And I did that again.
It's like fantasy?
Yes, it is fantasy.
Oh, right.
Of course it is. What else would it be?
What else?
What else is there? Have you not been listening to what I read?
The Brandon Sanderson Power Hour.
The Brandon Sanderson Power Hour, and then after that, okay, which other fantasy book am I trying to fill the void with? It's got to be either Brandon Sanderson. It's got to be either fantasy. It's got to be either fantasy, or it's got to be random classic.
Of course.
Because there's nothing else in life.
Nothing at all.
But yeah, I did a scene for that. I did a scene from another one, but I had to really make it short. It was like 300 words. I went to like 318 or something, but you know.
Yeah.
I also have finished The Hobbit for one of the classes. I freaking love The Hobbit.
Yeah, that's such a great book.
Such a great book. And like I'm reading it and I'm like, okay, if I look at this as a writer, there's tons of stuff that I would never do because I think it sucks. And there are parts that even as a reader, I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, hey, I really like this little character detail. I really like how this is like foreshadowing everything and showing Bilbo's character growth and stuff. And then like a paragraph later, Tolkien's like, so this. Let me tell you exactly what I'm doing here. This is building up Bilbo's character in this certain way, and this is foreshadowing this specific thing.
Classic Tolkien.
And sometimes, well, not. I don't think Lord of the Rings does it that much. I don't know.
No.
I never finished Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
But sometimes it works really well, like when they're in Mirkwood and the narrator points out like they were actually really close to the end of Mirkwood before everything went wrong.
Oh no, I remember that.
That works really well. And then also like in Riddles in the Dark when it's talking about when it's giving Gollum's backstory and everything, that works really well. But then other times it's just like, I figured this out on my own because I have a functioning prefrontal cortex. Then again, it was originally written for people without functional prefrontal cortexes, so hey. I don't. Okay. People talk about The Hobbit and say it's just a simple children's story, mainly when they're talking about how much the movie screwed it up.
Yeah.
It is and it isn't. It's especially the version we have now, because the edition of The Hobbit that almost every single person has read is the 3rd edition, which he released after The Lord of the Rings to fit in better with The Lord of the Rings, because in the original edition of The Hobbit, Gollum was a nice guy. He was just this weird, funny creature that Bilbo did a riddle game with down in the mountains. And then when Bilbo won the game, he gave Bilbo the ring, like willingly, as a prize for winning.
Huh.
So
I can see that wouldn't work well with the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So he had to change it because he had developed the world since then. And so it's sitting in this really weird place where it's the prologue to the Lord of the Rings, but it's also a fun children's story, but it's also got some really interesting, more adult themes about war and greed. But it's still also a children's story, a story that was originally meant for children. So it's sitting in this really weird place, and I like it most of the time, but it's still really weird. But I still absolutely love it. Bilbo might
But I mean, it was one of the few books I actually enjoyed reading in high school.
Yeah. Imagine that if you give kids material material that they might actually enjoy, maybe they'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I love all of his symbolism with Smaug and the drag. Like Tolkien said, like in like interviews or something, or letters maybe, that true dragons in literature have to represent something. So Smaug represents greed, and that is very obvious, but he never outright states it. It's one of the few subtle things in The Hobbit where Smaug is greed, and even when Smaug is killed, his treasure is still there, and the greed is what causes this big conflict that almost kills everyone, because the goblin army shows up and almost destroys them even when they decide to work together.
Yeah.
And then the ending of the book is just beautiful. Like the last song in the book, I love how close it is to one of the earlier songs in Fellowship of the Ring, The Road Goes Ever On. It's similar to that, so I can like see, oh, so Bilbo created this song, and then it kind of evolved into what it became years down the line. That's really neat. And I love that Bilbo goes on this big grand journey, and then he comes home, and his neighbors are auctioning off all his stuff because they thought he was dead.
I remember that.
It's such a good thing, and the fact that like one of his neighbors got really mad at him for coming back and never really accepted that he was the real Bilbo, and probably stole all of his silver spoons. It's great. I love it. I love The Hobbit. So now for that class I'm in, a Game of Thrones, and that's a completely different beast.
Yeah.
Not much to say since I kind of talked a little bit about it with already with when I talked about season 1 of the show. So if I have more to say, I will, but not right now.
Understandable.
I also read a little bit more of One Piece.
There's a project in and of itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
And here's my motivation. Suddenly a lot of book YouTubers that I watch have gotten into One Piece just out of nowhere, and I'm like, okay, I've started this mammoth. I might as well keep on going, and it's great. I love it, but it's a mammoth.
It sure is. You know, at least it's not as bad as the show. My one friend who's seen it told me like they were animating it like half the frames for one episode or for like an entire arc because they had basically caught up with the author. So it was basically every fight was drawn out to like twice its length in the books. So yeah. So at least it's not that bad.
Yeah. But apparently the first 100 chapters is like the Shire, the equivalent of the Shire.
Okay.
100
yes.
chapters.
I'm not there yet.
Boy.
Oh.
I'm not there yet. I have most of the main crew from what I've seen in all the promotional images and fan art. And I've seen a lot of the scenes that I remember from the 4Kids show that I saw way back when. And they're even cooler now that it's not completely censored.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, that's a project and a half. So
yeah, I can't even imagine.
Are
you reading it digitally or physically?
Digitally too. I don't have the money for that.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, oh my god, in the space, I've seen the box sets that those things come in, massive, absolutely massive.
Like even if it becomes one of the best things ever, I don't know if I'm gonna buy that physically, man.
I can't imagine whenever it's done and they release like a complete box set. That thing would be like you'd have to get like a freaking
you have to get a U-Haul
dolly to bring that in. A crate.
Dude, I saw the box sets they made for Full Metal Alchemist, and that was like not even 30 volumes.
Oh my god!
And they were huge. And I've walked through bookstores and I've seen the black leather Berserk editions, and those things are huge, and that's only a few volumes each.
I think their box sets would probably have to be like separated by arc.
It would have to be. It would have to be like first 100 chapters. Here's the box set, because it's like different. It's not just arcs. There's also sagas. First 100 chapters is a saga, because One Piece is gigantic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's fun times, and it's just phenomenal art. Like Super Eye Patch Wolf did a video on One Piece, and he said that the guy who makes it, Oda, is like the one person he can think of who is as good as Toriyama at laying out action on a page, and he's possibly even better.
Wow.
So that's high praise, and yeah, it's fantastic. That's all I have read. I have played a little bit. I'll get into that. I played a little bit of Smite, a little bit more of Smite.
Okay.
That's a fun game. It's a fun game. I've found out I really like warriors in that game the most, but I also played a game with Aphrodite, and that was fun too. So we'll have to see if I end up being one of the very few support mains in the game. Apparently, nobody knows how to play support in this game, because it's more complex than like any other MOBA.
Wow.
So
like you have to balance Like more buffs and debuffs?
apparently, and it's also like you have to have the most knowledge of the maps of the map at
Oh,
all
yeah.
times.
That
But
makes sense.
I only play arena and joust, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
uh Arena is like this big 5v5 just brawl. There's no lanes or anything. It's just get kills, kill minions, that's it. And it's a ton of
Oh, that's
fun.
nice.
And then Joust is 3v3 one lane. And
Okay.
then like little jungles on the side. So that's fun. And it's a lot simpler, and it's what I play with my friends because there's 3 of us, so it works out well. And the past few times, one of my friends hasn't been able to play, and he's the one who knows Smite the best out of us, so we have been on a losing streak on Joust for a
Oh.
while.
Oh no.
But one of these days, I'll learn to play it like maybe a little bit.
One of these days you'll turn it around.
One of these days, I won't have turned it around. I'll have turned it in slightly less of a bad direction. So another thing I played on the way to the trip and back home from the trip, I played a little bit of Assassin's Creed 3 on my Switch.
Hey, is this your first time playing through it?
I played through it on the Wii U,
Oh, okay.
and
Oh.
I like this game even though it's bad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you get to stab people, so
at the end of the day, I get to hit people in the neck with a tomahawk.
yep.
It just does what Black Flag did, but worse.
But worse, yes, exactly. Like Black Flag is literally this entire game, but better. Better in just better in every way, except there's less Hatham.
It doesn't even have a
Unfortunately.
dedicated sea shanties button.
There's the frickin' things you have to run around, the papers you have to run around and chase in this game are almanac papers from Benjamin Franklin's almanac.
Oh.
Which listen, as an American Revolution like fan, I like that, but the sea shanties are so much better.
So much better.
So much
then
better.
you get more sea shanties.
Yes, you get more sea shanties. It has more. It has like an aesthetic. Like it's purely aesthetic, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the opening of the game is a lot of fun story wise because Hatham Kenway is freaking amazing.
Hatham is better than the actual character.
Yes, unfortunate. Hatham is a better main character than either of the main characters.
Which is unfortunate because you start off as Hatham.
You start off as Hatham and then you don't play as him ever again.
And you're sad the whole game.
Yep, you're sad the whole game. You're chasing Hatham and you're like, please, please.
Let me play as you.
And oh my gosh, okay, so whenever I'm in the loading screens of Assassin's Creed games, I spam the free run button because it makes them crouch and do funny stuff and it looks funny. And I
tend to run around in circles.
That's fun too. But I've started just spamming the crouch button or the free run button, and it makes them just kind of jiggle around a bit. But then I looked over at Desmond, the main character of the first 5 Assassin's Creed games, and I look over at his model when I'm spamming the crouch, and then I pause, and then I hold down the crouch button, and then I notice his shirt is clipping through his jacket.
Oh no.
The main character, I looked at Hatham, who you play for less time, or maybe about as much time as Desmond in the game. His jacket does not clip. Nothing on his model clips. I looked at the frickin' Connor's mom, who you only play in that frickin' loading screen, and her free run animation is really jank. I looked at her model. It does not clip. I don't know what happened. It's awful. Maybe, but I think it might be a sign that they stopped caring about the present date story.
Yeah.
Because boy, I hate that present day story.
I don't think anyone really likes it.
Like, it was really interesting in 1 and 2. Brotherhood, it was still kind of interesting. And then maybe this is the reason I haven't ever finished Revelations. So like, Desmond's dad for me just shows up out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
But I like Desmond's dad because he punches Desmond.
Yeah.
So
Cool guy.
it's the
I'm
one.
trying to remember what the situation with Revelations was. I think.
I know you're like in like Animus like limbo.
Yeah, you're just kind of getting out of Animus limbo. I think is the main thing.
Yeah,
I don't really remember much other than
that was
that.
interesting. But then it also introduces the whole end of the world 2012 plot, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't like it. But wow, that I ended up talking a lot more about those two games than what I actually played of them, because I haven't really played, honestly, other than those two, which I barely played. I haven't played anything except Final Fantasy 14.
Oh yeah.
I have been playing so much Final Fantasy 14.
Oh my god.
I bet.
I imagine.
It started to consume me. This MMO has started to consume.
Have you made
Yeah.
it to the DLCs yet?
No, I'm like 2/3 of the way through A Realm Reborn, I think.
Oh, okay.
And once I hit level, I'm planning on once I hit level 50 with my Dragoon, I'm gonna go and level up Gladiator into Paladin and get that all the way up, because I want a tank.
Yeah.
And I know like people recommend just hit the cap, because the higher your max level, it boosts your XP for all your other classes.
Oh.
Because you don't need to make alternate characters. You just get all the jobs with one character, which is really nice. But I didn't realize how much I would value the boss facing me while I fight it, instead of feeling like I'm a fly on its butt, just jabbing it with this giant spear and it doesn't even acknowledge my existence. So I'll go and I'll level up Paladin, because between Paladin and Marauder, or Warrior, sorry, Marauder's the baby warrior class. Between Paladin and Warrior, Paladin appeals to me more in terms of aesthetics.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but then once I get to Heavensward, which is included in the free trial, the first expansion is included in the free trial.
Wow, that's nice.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's very, very generous. But once I get to Heavensward and I unlock Dark Knight, I might want to check that out, because Dark Knight looks really cool. And then eventually, when I unlock Gunbreaker, I'm definitely gonna check that out, because Gunbreaker is really cool. All the tanks, like, are really cool to me. It's just Warrior is the least interesting of all four of them.
But Warrior's the one with the big axe.
Yeah, and it also has Felcleave.
Yeah.
And Felcleave's really cool. It's like one of the coolest looking moves in the game, and it lets you do it like over and over and over again. But I also really like the move that Paladin has, where it's just, get behind me, everyone, and I sprout gigantic angel wings that block attacks for everyone behind me. And I also like Dark Knight, where they reach into their soul and summon a shadow stand.
Nice.
And I also really like Gunbreaker, because Gunblade.
Of course.
Gunblade go boom.
You gotta have the Gunblade.
Gunblade go boom.
Cool.
The story is the main reason you play Final Fantasy XIV, unlike other MMOs or some other MMOs. I don't hear anyone talking anything good about WoW's story lately, so I assume that people don't play it for that.
Yeah.
But FF14's story is fantastic. It's a little generic Final Fantasy at the moment, but that's fine, and it's just good. And I've heard the structure of the story gets, in terms of quest design and gameplay, gets much better after A Realm Reborn, because there's a bunch of quests where it's like, hey, go do this fetch quest for a bit, and it's like, okay, I expect it because it's an MMO and it just gives me time to listen to a podcast, but it's still annoying.
The grind. Every MMO's gotta have one.
And it's gotta have a little bit of it. But going back to like what you were saying about how you can solo most of the content in the Old Republic, you can solo you solo most of the content in Final Fantasy 14, but then all of the dungeons and all of the big bosses are instanced, or not instanced, I don't know. Is that the term? I don't know. You go in with a party. You go in with a party. And so far, I've only done things with a light party, which is 4 players, 1 tank, 1 support, 2 DPS. And unfortunately, boy, those DPS queue times are long.
I'm sure. I can't even imagine.
It's one of the reasons that I want to play tank, because tanks don't have queue times.
That's so nice. That's just like freaking Overwatch, where the DPS time will be like 1 billion, and then like support and tank times will be like nothing.
Yep. It is that exact thing with, I think, every game that has tank support DPS. Tank wait times tanks don't have wait times. Supports have a little bit of wait time, not that long though, and DPS has just sit there for half an hour.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's got to be so much worse than Overwatch because there's so many more DPS characters than any of the other characters.
So many.
Because we just shoved offense and defense together. They are now just DPS.
It's terrible. Honestly, it made finding that such a headache in that game, because I only play support. But even then, finding games was a nightmare. Mainly just because nobody was really playing on the PS4, which is kind of
well, maybe you should play on the superior console.
Maybe I should.
Or maybe you should just not play Overwatch.
You know what? I like the way you think.
Just don't play Overwatch.
Yeah, I haven't touched that game in so long.
Man, that was a long time. That was like almost a year of playing that game, like off and on, and then it like just stopped being fun.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Final Fantasy 14 is very fun.
Yeah,
I bet.
Maybe once we get a PC in here, or hop on 14 too.
Yeah, do that.
Hey.
I'll grab some of my friends maybe, and we can all just go do big parties together and do stuff.
Yeah.
Hey.
This is fun.
Once I actually get a PC, that's the problem. I'm having trouble getting one.
Oh yeah. Also, one of the things I do want to do, one of the other reasons I want to tank is because tank is the person who does everything in the dungeon. Like if there's a switch you need to pull, the tank does that. If there's an item you need to pick up, the tank does that. Or unlocking doors, the tank does that, because the tank is the person who's supposed to go out in front of the party and draw all the enemies, because otherwise you're being a bad tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because boy, DPS and support are squishy. There was a moment in the story. I'm just kind of going like stream of thought. Just my train of thought is kind of just going all over the place. There was a moment in the story that actually, like, because it's an MMO, it was really understated, and it really like hit me a lot harder because of that. Like you walk into a place that you've been to a few times, and then, oh no, something's wrong. Oh no! And it doesn't even like have a cutscene or anything to show you that. You just load into the area and oh no! And it was really good. It was a really nice moment. And there was this other moment that made me appreciate MMOs, where there are encounters on the just in the world, out in the world, called fates, where it's locked at this certain level. So if you're too far above the level, you have to level sync down. And it's like one of the main ways of grinding, because of leveling up your off classes, I think, because it gives bonus experience or something like that. But anyone in the world can join in on them. And there was this one in the Gridania area. I can't remember. It was my starting area, so I passed by it a bunch of times. It was a level 20 fate, and it was this giant boss. And I would run over to it, and I'd level sync, and I'd start hitting it, and then I realized, oh, that's not a lot of damage. Oh boy. And then I'd run away. Because it was doing big damage to me. But then I ran over one time and I decided, you know what, let me try it again. So I started attacking it. And then I realized, oh hey, that paladin over there started attacking it too. Oh hey, there's this black mage over here doing stuff. That's a white mage going over there healing stuff. Wow, this is really cool. And it was a full on boss fight just out randomly, just completely apropos of nothing.
That's awesome.
It was great.
Wow.
And we did it. And we freaking did it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool. That's a really cool
feature.
feature.
Really cool experience that I haven't ever had in a video game before. And it's because this is the Mamorpga. Yeah, I will definitely be continuing playing this game once I have time, because I've been trying to get ahead on my on my master's work, because all next week I'm going to be on vacation. So no, very little work is going to be getting done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do have everything done for this week except for like a little bit of the discussion work, which is pretty quick and easy to get done. But that is all I've played. Just hours and hours and hours of Final Fantasy XIV.
Good
but
stuff.
I have watched some stuff. I watched an anime on Netflix that I just randomly saw something on, I think on Twitter from. Either on Twitter or on YouTube. I can't remember where. And I said, hey, that looks kind of interesting. And so I watched it on Netflix. I watched the entire thing because it's like 5-minute episodes, called The Way of the House Husband.
Hey, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to read the manga for that, because I've heard a lot of people said, because like from what I've heard, it's basically just like animated like comics, right? Like it's just like sort of like what am I trying to say here?
Motion comics?
Yeah, it's basically like a motion comic.
A little bit, yeah. There's not a ton of animation. It's like there's more animation than Inferno Cop, but that's not like that's not saying a ton. But there's not a lot of animation.
Yeah. I constantly see previews for the comic, and I'm like, I really want to read this. This seems really interesting.
It's really funny and charming. It's the concept, for people who haven't heard of this, namely Mitchell. The concept is this old Yakuza guy retired and got married, and now he's a house husband.
Yeah, it's very good.
Hijinks ensue.
That's what I've heard.
It's great. It's really great. And it's really it's not only really funny, it's really charming and sweet. And it fills you with the warm feelings that you can only get from watching a murderous psychopath try to cook dinner.
Yep. Interesting.
And then buy his wife a birthday gift, and then it turns out she already had it. So then he tries to take his finger.
He tries to take his finger.
He tries to cut his finger off, because that's what Yakuza do.
Beautiful.
Okay, so here we go. Actually, no, I'll skip ahead on the list and save all that for last. I watched a movie called Nobody.
Oh yeah, hey, what do you think?
It's great. It's Bob Odenkirk doing a John Wick.
Yep, it is. It's a decent movie, but I would still describe it as an off-brand John Wick.
I would describe it as an off-brand, funnier John Wick.
Yes, I do definitely think that is the case.
With better acting.
Yeah.
And probably better writing, but the action isn't as good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the writing's probably better in Nobody. It has more of a defined story. Like there's There's more structure to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
And boy, I don't think Christopher Lloyd has had this much fun in a long time.
He was killing it. I absolutely loved him.
The man looked like he was having the time of his life. And Bob Odenkirk is really good.
Yeah, he killed it.
What a shocker. A good actor is good. And the movie was a lot funnier than I was expecting, because I heard like, oh, it's kind of discount John Wick, but hey, you like Bob Odenkirk, right? And I was like, yeah, I like him, but he seems a bit old to do like a John Wick thing. I only know him from as Saul in freaking Breaking Bad, so I don't know if this will work. And it worked, mainly because they didn't have that much action.
Yeah,
or they did, but the action isn't John Wick action.
Yeah, it is much more subdued.
Yeah, it's more subdued. There's more cutaways, less big long one shots that are really expensive and difficult to do.
Yeah.
But hey, the action of John Wick was a little not as good in John Wick 3. So hey, maybe this will fill that gap. Maybe this will get better. Okay, John Wick. I feel like I need to say this, but John Wick 3 had some amazing action scenes. But man, that scene with him and the chick with the dogs was not that good.
Yeah, that was definitely the weakest one of the movie.
You're right. Constantly the same exact thing over and over. It was just kind of bland.
Yeah, I agree.
After they talked to Ser Braun of the Blackwater, Lord Paramount of Highgarden, Warden of the Reach, and Master of Coin.
Yes.
Who I will only I don't know the actor's name. I forget his name, but I will only from now on I will only ever refer to him as Ser Braun of the Blackwater and etc.
And etc.
Because that was dumb. That was really dumb. I can't wait to get to that part in Game of Thrones. Like, once I finish season 4, it's just going to become a comedy for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
With some occasional great moments.
How far along are you right now?
I have not started season 4.
Okay.
So, I'll get back to that, but in the meantime, I've been on a Doctor Who binge. A big old Doctor Who kick.
There it is, the foreshadowed.
It finally came around. Set up, payoff. Here's the payoff. So I rewatched that 5-hour Doctor Who video that I talked about last time.
Ah, yes.
Because it's very good, and it's very entertaining. And after that, at some point in the video, recommended these Doctor Who radio dramas, and apparently a lot of them are on Spotify. Not all of them, but some of them, a good amount of them, are on Spotify. So I started listening to the 8th Doctor Adventures, which was the Doctor who got one movie, and the movie was really bad, and that's it.
Oh. Dang.
So the guy got radio dramas, and it's really good. It feels, from what I've heard, the radio dramas have done this before with the 6th Doctor, who was also really bad.
Dang.
So maybe they'll be able to do it with the 13th Doctor.
No, I don't think anyone's going to come and clutch on that one.
No. Once her run on TV's done, then she can do the radio dramas with good writers.
God, if only.
It's the 8th Doctor Adventures is basically it's like a whole season of Doctor Who. It's great.
Oh, that's nice.
It starts with Blood of the Daleks, which is a really cool story with one of the best Dalek stories, where this human colony, some person genetically engineers some Daleks. It's really good. and then also calls some Daleks to them, thinking the Daleks are one thing, and of course the Daleks are not.
Oh dear.
And so you get a wonderful moment where the genetically engineered Daleks face off against the pure Daleks. And then of course you know what happens because they're Daleks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exterminate.
Exterminate. The Daleks must be pure. So I'll continue on that. I'll go from there. I might try some of the other Doctors series. They have a few with the Doctors I know, but they don't have their actual like main radio dramas. It's part of like a big long like, hey, we're doing a continue, maybe I think it's a continuous story with each of the Doctors. I think that's what it looks like because it's all like the Day of the Doctor, first Doctor, Day of the Doctor, second Doctor. So I think that's what it's doing. And they try to get back all the original actors to play the Doctors as much as they can, but 1, 2, and 3 are dead, so they have to replace them.
Yeah. Dang.
But hey, they still have Tom Baker, and Tom Baker has a wonderful, smooth, buttery smooth, deep voice.
Beautiful.
So I've been listening to that alongside my usual podcasts while I play Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh, that's nice.
And I also there was an episode that had the actor who played Bernard in the main series back in David Tennant's days. Donna's dad.
Yeah.
It had him.
Wow.
Voicing a completely different character, but I was like, wait, is that him? Is that him? And I looked it up, and it was. I was like, hey! And he does a good job because he's a really good actor. Man, I could just watch that scene between him, like every scene between him and David Tennant in the End of Time was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Even if that story was really rough, every scene with them was fantastic.
Yeah. The scene where he hands off the gun to him is great.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was so good. Just phenomenal acting. I wish there was more of that I wish the writing was even half that good in seasons 11 and 12.
Yeah.
But speaking of Doctor Who, I decided, okay, I never finished season 7. Let me do that. So I have finished season 7, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? I did like Matt Smith, not as much as the others, as Christopher Eccleston or David Tennant, but I did like Matt Smith. I owe it to him to finish off his run, and so I did. And wow, season 7 starts off terrible. Which is why I skipped all of that. I skipped to the episode after Angels Take Manhattan. Because I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to watch Asylum of the Daleks again. I never want to see that thing in my life ever again. That episode was a mistake. But I skipped past all of that crap. And I just continued on from the Christmas special all the way till the end. And it got better. And by the end, when I got to the 50th, finally got to the 50th anniversary special, I was like, okay, this is good. And I like the I like the 50th anniversary special.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it.
It's pretty good. I really enjoyed John Hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked that this was like a different take on the Doctor's actions in the Time War than Russell T Davies' take in End of Time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still compatible. It's not like it completely erases all of that. It's still compatible. So I like that it's two different takes on the same action that still work together.
Yeah.
Like one person, Russell T Davies' take was basically, this was the best of a series of bad options, and doing nothing would have been worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stephen Moffat's take was, it's still really horrible, so let's try to find another way. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. And then I got to the end of Matt Smith's last episode, which was also a Christmas special. And it got me. It did get me.
Yeah, it is an emotional moment.
And I really do like how Matt Smith's run starts off as almost a fairy tale and it ends as almost a fairy tale. I think that really suits his Doctor really well.
Yeah.
And it hit me. It hit me right in the feels. And I am now glad that I went and I finished season 7, because that was almost worth it. Not quite, because Asylum of the Daleks was a mistake and Angels Take Manhattan is terrible. But other than that, it's, if it weren't for those two, it would have been definitely worth it. But then again, if it weren't for those two, I probably wouldn't have stopped watching in the first place.
Yeah.
So now I'm 3 episodes into season 8. I'm 3 episodes into Peter Capaldi's run.
And how is it?
I really like Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, he's great.
Like usually with the Doctors, there's a transition period where I'm like, I don't know though. But with this, it's like immediately I'm like, oh, I love Peter Capaldi. I love him. I love his Doctor. He's such an asshole. It's great. It's great. And he's the first Scottish Doctor who's allowed to be Scottish.
Hey.
Actually, is Peter Capaldi even Scottish? I don't know.
Question.
They might, I think I heard that Peter Capaldi himself, this might be entirely wrong, I heard that he's not Scottish, which is jacked up because all of the actually Scottish Doctors were not allowed to do Scottish accents.
Oh.
Like,
that's
Sylvester
rough.
McCoy and David Tennant were not allowed to do Scottish accents. But it's... the second episode of season, like the first episode of season 8 was fun, regeneration sickness shenanigans.
Yeah.
And it was just a fun episode. And then episode 2 was like a legitimately great episode, one of the best episodes of Doctor Who I've seen in a while, where they go inside the Dalek.
Oh yeah.
That was fantastic, and the end of the episode especially was just like, you didn't go the dumb easy route.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next episode was a fun adventure with Robin Hood.
Hey.
Yeah, that's fun.
And boy, Peter Capaldi's Doctor's an asshole, and it's great. It's so much fun to watch. And I am very interested in seeing where this plot is going, because I know who the lady is because I got spoiled on that. But I'm interested to see where they're going to take it. I've heard good things, so hopefully this is good, and then I can laugh maybe at season 11 and 12. And then if I can't even laugh at it, I can just skip all the way to Haunting of Villa Diodati and not watch anything else.
Yeah, there you go.
And just
end on a high note.
Listen to the radio dramas and just maybe watch Classic Who, because I have been really interested in that now. Because I've seen some strange clips. There's a clip of Sylvester McCoy's Doctor. These two knights who are apparently from an alternate universe who are having a big old sword fight, and then they break away for like 1 second, and Sylvester McCoy just walks by them, tips his hat to them, just like walks in between them, doesn't even pause, and tips his hat and keeps on walking.
Beautiful.
It's great. And then I heard like one of his radio dramas, he has a "Fear Me" speech that a lot of the Doctors have, and it's one of it's one of the scariest things I've ever heard.
My God.
And then I've also heard really good things about Tom Baker, and I saw a scene from Tom Baker's run where people are pointing a gun at him, and he holds up his hands, and he's like, his back is to them, and they say turn around, so he turns completely around 360 degrees. And also Tom Baker's voice is just buttery smooth and deep.
Yeah.
Oh, also I loved his cameo at the end of the 50th anniversary.
Oh yes.
That was really nice. It was
Really
nice.
was.
It was a nice understated cameo. It wasn't too heavy on it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like Doctor Who. I just wish it was good more of the time. I wish we didn't have like freaking Love and Monsters for every blink. There's a Love and Monsters.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
For every season 4, there's a season 7. And now we just have bad, so hey. But you can't. But apparently, you're not allowed to criticize season 11 and 12 because that makes you a sexist. Even though, literally, I just don't like the writing. I don't like Jodie Whittaker is fine. I just wish she had better material.
Unfortunate.
Maybe they'll get their act together, or maybe the show will die again.
Who knows?
It's come back from
Tune
the
in
grave
next week.
before. Maybe this is just a whole elaborate plot by the BBC to kill the show.
I wouldn't even be surprised.
Like, actually, I've heard some of the behind the scenes stuff for when the show first got killed off, and the guy in charge of the BBC did not like Doctor Who and actively tried to kill it off.
Oh man!
Like to the point where they had like so little budget that in Sylvester McCoy's run that at one point a pyrotechnics thing went off like way too close to him, and he just played it off and kept going because he knew they didn't have enough money for another take.
Man, that was dedication.
Yeah, that's dedication. But hey, it's the Brits. They're freaking dedicated actors. So I believe that is it for me.
All right, good stuff.
Right.
Wow, this was another long episode.
Instead of the Brandon Sanderson Power Hour, we got the Doctor Who Power Hour.
Doctor Who Power Hour. Maybe we'll continue on with those. That might be a thing. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. If I can fit it in with my reading schedule, which has gotten a lot more busy because of my masters. Because I still have to read Great Expectations, and I still have to get through Game of Thrones. Oh boy, there's not enough time.
Yeah.
Not enough time in the day. I wish there was more. Okay, I never watched the movie, but Click has just been like sitting in my mind because of those commercials. Like since I saw those commercials as a kid, because moments will come up where I think, man, it'd be really nice if I had that universal remote control. Really nice if I could just pause time or rewind time right now.
God, it would be.
That thing's been living rent free in my head, and I can't. It's a problem.
Well, I mean, you are not Chris Walken.
It's
so,
true.
And
you
do have a role.
Yes, I do. I didn't even realize Christopher Walken was in that movie until years and years later.
He's great in it. He kills it.
Well, he's Chris Walken.
He kills everything.
He kills it all depends. It's not did Christopher Walken do good in the movie. It's did the movie it's not did Christopher Walken do good in the role. It's did the role do a good Christopher Walken. Like the Peter Pan thing. I would never say that Christopher Walken played a really good Captain Hook. I would, however, say that Captain Hook played a very good Christopher Walken. Well, I believe that's it.
Yep. I don't think there's anything left to say.
All right, well, this has been another episode of Talk the Plank. We did a million tangents.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god. But you know what? It makes for good radio.
It does make for good radio as long as we
Does
have
it,
these
though?
buttery smooth voices.
Yes.
I say as my voice almost cracks.
These buttery smooth voices.
These buttery smooth voices. One day we'll have Tom Baker voices.
One day. By God.
These buttery smooth voices.